Skyforce coming back to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The seats have come back, obviously. In the statement at the start of the season, Pleasure Beach said that Skyforce, along with a few more rides, weren't going to be opening in the 2025 season. However, they didn't say that they were closed permanently. They were just out for this year, pretty much. Gallopers has obviously been sold off, the Thompson Carousel and Eddie Stobart's are still standing, as well as Alpine Rally as well, and Skyforce. This week, the seats have returned to Skyforce. It looks like this all season, with no seats. And here it is. There's been work on it all week, including today. The seats have returned and the restraints have returned as well, and the like back wing things. So it raises the question, is it coming back? I mean, it's still the Red Arrows branding there, so a few people suggested that one of the reasons why it might have closed is because the Red Arrows like sponsorship ran out after 10 years. They did say that in the statement as well, like Skyforce has been operating for 10 years, so that could have suggested maybe it's closed because of the sponsorship, and that obviously opens the opportunity for a retheme. But all this branding is exactly the same. There's still Red Arrow branding and stuff. So, is it coming back? Or is it just being built up to a potential buyer? Gallopers had been sold obviously, but that ride didn't really need taking down at the winter like this one did. Like, they used to take the seats and the restraints and everything off Skyforce every single closed season for the maintenance. You don't really have to do that with Gallopers. Like, I assume there is some sort of maintenance that happens to it. Some things might get taken off, but not like every single horse and stuff. Don't have to be taken apart. Whereas this ride did, so obviously the seats have been taken off for the maintenance, but didn't get put back on because the ride's not opening. So potentially they could be putting it back up to show a potential buyer that this is how it runs and this is what it looks like when it's all not in bits, when it's actually operating. So it's going to be an interesting one. Suppose this is, we'll find out in like a couple of weeks. It's not going to take them long at all to put it all back together completely. Because yeah, they started this like in the middle of this week, last week, and they've already got all of the seats on, all of like the back wing things, and then some of the restraints as well, about half of the restraints, and then they've got to put like the front wings on, which you used to use to rotate the ride. So it's an interesting one. I personally think that it's for a buyer. I think it's getting sold off, to be honest, because I don't see it coming back. There's still Red Arrow stuff in place, and like that's obviously seen better days because it's been around for 10 years. And yeah, well, they might have extended the license. I'll tell you what, that one up there looks good. That one's still looking quite fresh, new, shiny. So you never know. But another thing that leads me on to thinking that it's getting sold off is the reason it closed in the first place, apart from the sponsorship thing, which is possible, is because these are data driven with the e-tickets, and they've noticed that not many people are riding this, along with Gallopers and Alpine Rally and all of that, and Eddie Stobart. These are rides that not many people are going on, so they've decided to close them, to not spend money running them, to invest that into bigger things like a gyro swing. So yeah, I do think it's getting sold off and they're just sort of building it up. It's a shame they couldn't do this before they took it apart at the end of last season. But I suppose, I don't know, like these decisions might have been made sort of later down the line. It's hard to tell. But what I'm going to do is have a little walk around the Skyforce area, where the entrance is, and then I'll come back here and end this mini Skyforce speculation video. Is it going? Or is it coming back? So at the start of the season, the seats were in here, like stored in here, this shop, for a little while, which they're not. This shop used to be the Skyforce shop. It's now just used for the big one, like harnesses and stuff. I will do want the big one day. There's some merch for it as well. Obviously a helmet and everything you need to walk the big one safely. Base camp, I mean, that's looking in decent condition, but I suppose if the ride went, this would stay for now. But round here, this is where you used to enter the ride. Quite a bit of the cattle pen queue line has been taken down. So, I mean, it rarely got used, to be honest. I suppose it got used in its like opening year or two, but yeah, it would normally just be inside. So there'd be all this cattle pen here, then there'd be one row of queue and one row back before like a preloading area there. Then you get let onto the ride and then you'd exit through here. So the Red Arrows branding is still on the windows. Looks pretty cool, to be honest. There is a sign here. Well, it used to be a sign with the Red Arrows Skyforce logo. That has been removed, like the Red Arrows branding has been removed. However, it hasn't on the other side. It's a double-sided sign, this, and obviously you can't see it from here, but you can see it when you're on that icon or going up the big one lift hill, that the Red Arrows branding is still in place on the other side of this sign. So that's interesting, but if it comes back, it's hard to imagine it being Red Arrows. I'll tell you what though, from here, they're looking alright. They're looking in decent condition, but I suppose it's not an overly old ride really, is it? And as I said, if it's going to get sold, it's going to end up operating elsewhere for another 10 years or so. So it's an interesting one. The gate's open. There have been people working on it today, reattaching it all. But yeah, the question stands, obviously, are they doing that to bring it back? It won't be this year because they've said that it's not coming back in 2025. Or is it to be sold on? There's a buyer that's arranged to come on park in a couple of weeks just to check it over, and then maybe that is the end of Skyforce at Pleasure Beach, and then it's going to another park. So we'll have to wait and see. So there's two of these planes. Got the big one shot. That's nice. Yeah, two of these planes. The seats, I'm not quite sure what's under there. The baggage hold's still there. But it's an interesting one, and another reason why I don't think it's coming back to be operational here at Pleasure Beach is when would they bring it back? Because they've said they're not bringing it back this year. If they bring it back next year, it's either going to be overshadowed by Invictus, or it's going to take some of the hype away from Invictus, because we've sort of splitting the hype between a ride coming back. I know it won't really get a grand opening, a grand reopening, unless it does go through a major retheme. We've got that to look forward to really, and then in 2027 as well, I think that's when River Caves is going to come back. I don't know that, but I doubt it being next year, and shouldn't be 2028, at least I hope not. So we're looking at 2029, and we kind of, 2028, yeah, we kind of want a coaster to be planned at that point, not a flat ride that's been SBNO for 3 years. So it's an interesting one, but as I said, it's completely 50-50. It's like Ice Blast this time last year. This, is it staying or is it going? But it's either getting rethemed, or it's coming back and they've extended the licence, or it's being built up for a potential buyer, and then it will be taken back down again to its new park, to its new home. So we'll have to wait and see. What do you all think?
I think it's coming back.
I'm just thinking, what's the point in like building it back up to like...
Well, yeah. I know.
Because like, I'm sure they could have done pictures like before they closed it last season.
I know.
Exactly.
I know. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I think I've said everything there is to say from Skyforce for now. I'll keep you all updated. Probably do another one of these next week when all the wings are on and stuff, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen to Skyforce. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Check out the screen to see more, and I'll see you next time. From here, Skyforce, it's coming back or not coming back, at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Resort Lancashire.